Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the German Diplomatic Disaster series. We are going into October of 1943. The Germans were very fortunate. They got severe in the cold zone, severe in the mild zone, which is where the Russians are, and poor in the warm zone, which is where the British are. And by having the severe in the mild zone is also going to keep him from being able to do any kind of shenanigan invasions along the French coast. So there is that. Anyway, we will head into this. Let's pop up all the little boxes for you to see flash by as we go by. And we're off. We're in declaration of war. Nobody does that. I am down to 14 minus 8 is 6, plus 4 is 20. And he is the British are still at 32, and the Russians now are at 15. Minus 1 is 14, plus 13, 9 for euros and 4 lend-lease. So he's at 54. And like I mentioned in the last video, 52 is the magic number for the Russians. Lets you move all your mobile armies, all your armor, all your shocks, and replenish all 15 points worth of airplanes. So 2 sorties on each aircraft. So he's in that sweet spot. Usually you don't get there till 1944. He's there in 1943. He was actually there last turn. That's the economy. We go to strategic warfare. He is plus 4 now. The reason why he's plus 4 is because he has, if you look at the die roll thingy, look at the die roll modifiers, he has an airplane in a port that's on Sea Zone 13. So he gets an extra plus 2 for that, plus the 2 for the partisan. So he's at plus 4 on defense. I'm at 0, and he threw his partisans. So if you look at the math, 4 plus, assume he rolls a 1, he gets a 5. Assume I roll a 6, I have to a 3. A 5 to a 3 on the combat results table is an automatic AS, which means I would lose a factory. So by him playing his partisans and having that airplane there, it's an automatic. So you will see me just go poof. And then he rolled a 6 for the partisans, so it won't be back in a while. He's like, oh, I rolled a 6 for my partisans. I said, you can't use it on anything but strategic warfare, so what does it matter? I'm in no Russian territory where he can play his partisans actually on my units, so. April 1943, that should be, that's not right. That should be April of 1944. I don't know why he's got it up there. Anyway, we're in the west, and he is plus 2, plus 4 bombs, so he's plus 6. Going to get a minimum of 7. I have a plus 2, and I rolled a 1. Plus 2 is a 3. That's not enough. The minimum you get is a 7, so I would lose another factory, so I don't gain 1 back, and his bomb markers just come off. Strategic movement. I think I moved the guy in Munich. Get out of the way there. So I put the thing on the guy in Munich, and I moved him to that nice little river bend along the Danube and the Sava, and the Drava, where everything mishmashes together. It's a nice little defensive hex. Rivers on all sides, so it's going to be at least a -1 when he comes after the German. West didn't have one. The Soviets, I don't think he had one either. But he did forget to take off his thing. Later on, you'll see me take off his strategic move marker off an infantry unit later. So now I'm moving. Seeing as how I'm expecting the Russians to kind of like blow through the Yugoslavs, I'm trying to prepare for him declaring war on Hungary and me having to, have units to the south of Hungary in Yugoslavia, and then some units from the north move down to help defend Hungary and try and slow him down for a little bit along the Danube for a little while, maybe. Don't know how well that'll work, but this guy moves all the way to there. air armored unit backs the heck up. And the infantry units move up to sort of plug the line. And I believe I am... Oh, I have to do shenanigans over here. I start sending the Yugoslavian garrison unit home. I thought about going north. I said, no, I should probably go south, go through Italy. This garrison leaves the Havre and goes to Nantes. And the garrison that was in Metz goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and goes to Le Havre. Don't think I really can stop him from invading, but if I make him attack a unit, that means he can't get an extra hex. So, can't really stop him, but I can at least make him waste a turn. And then that infantry unit moves back to his standard reserve space. That's where you want to place. It's better to be able to place an armored unit there, but because of how badly things have been going for me, I can't afford to send an armored to the west at this point. And that's it. I'm done. And I still have 10 points left. So, and I have 3 garrisons, 2 infantry. The African army costs 2, so it'll probably never be rebuilt. But, you know, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 here. Probably going to have to maybe flip somebody. Maybe I'll only take 4 and flip 2, you know, get some air points back. I don't know. Now, we are in Severe, so when he does his bombing here for the west, I think he does his moving in his first, he moves the home unit up to Hull, get it out of the way, and then he's going to pick up the first armor to put it in London, and then he sails back to the north, picks up the fighter. I was trying to figure out where you could sail to, and I'm like, you can go into London, so... And that's what he does. He goes into London, he ends up with sorties, and then he has the British pick up the 15th Air Force. He brings it down into Southampton because, again, fighters and bombers can stack together. So, now he's got 3 bombers that can bomb the bejeepers out of me. And I can't even remember which one this was. It was poor weather, so it didn't... If severe weather, I would be -2, which means the best I can roll is a 4, half of 2. So I can't actually stop it. So there's no reason to intercept it. Metz, which is a 1 hex stop. And I just felt like I didn't want to even bother. The production points are too precious. Maybe save that airplane for possibly moving it up to do a counterattack or something more important. Now we're back down to Italy. This is poor weather now, so things get a little bit harder on him. He's only starting off at +2 there. And he's attacking the Yugoslavia. So he assaults at +2, throws in an airplane, so that gives him +3, and then he's -1 for the city and -1 for the river. I can speak for the river or for the weather. So that's why he's only a +1 to my 0. And he gets a 6 + 1 is a 7. And I rolled a 4, so I didn't get flipped, so I got to retreat. He takes Genoa. So now he has a port in northern Italy. Then he moves his garrison unit up to keep himself in supply. And now I think he goes whole hog to try and push across the Po against the 5th Panzer. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he throws in an airplane for 5. And I'm a 3. And then he's a 3 as well. Because he's -1 for the river, -1 for the weather. Rolls a 6 + 3 is a 9. Can't ask for much more. But I managed to roll a 7, so I actually held on. I was sure I was going to be retreated there. And then he flies an airplane to... Did There's some shenanigans with his airplanes here. This airplane that's in Rome. Oh. What am I doing? I have no idea. Hitting the wrong buttons. We're putting some... It's like, I still had German control markers. He never flipped them when he took the cities. So, we were just kind of like checking on things, making sure that he actually had control markers where he was supposed to. There's one that I missed. I should have a control marker still in Constanza because he never took that city. If you go back through the vlogs, he never walked through the city, so I have a German city sitting in Romania. Anyway, he's going to do shenanigans here in a second, I think. So he flies that to Naples, gives him 5 sorties. I did not understand why he did this. He has enough production points that he could have just flown it up here to northern Italy and then brought in the airplane he's going to bring in, because he does this. He goes sailing off to Cardiff. No, he went into Hull. And then he sailed the American convoy into Plymouth, which I allowed, to put him up to 3 sorties. And then when he came out without escort, so I went ahead and took my pot shot. I mean, I needed 5 or 6 to make it work, but what the heck, right? He ended up at a 0. I thought he was minus. I thought he was -2, but he's actually he's +2, -2 for sortie, -2 for sorties, +2, so he's at -2. I rolled a 5, +1 is a 6, halved to a 3. Hey, I got what I wanted. He rolled a 3, -2 is a 1, so he takes 2 sorties. The airplane takes 2 sorties, and they go back into Plymouth. So the Tripitz sailed and did its thing. Then he immediately sailed again and goes off and lands in Genoa. Gets a 3rd sortie for the airplane, and the fleet goes up to 5. So it's not like I could really stop him, but at least I made him, you know, Pyrrhic victory, right? And then this British convoy just came back up here somewhere. Oh, he went back up to Hull. So he has, for that home defense, I don't know why he went to Hull. He's worried about matching up with the fleet, but I would have matched it up with the home fleet. But that's me. Doesn't really matter. And then he was done. And I think he's... Oh, he's not quite done. He's got to do a supply. Down here. So it's... runs up the Americans and the British. Americans run up 4 and the British run up 2. So that's 6 for his 6 units, 2 airplanes and 4 guys. And now we're over to the Russians. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but it costs 8 for the river, 9, 10 for the city, and 11. Costs 11 to attack into there from where he went, from where he started. So he didn't get to add the armored unit. Started off at +1 for a buddy, -2 for the river and the city, and we are in severe, so it'll be halved. +1 because he's elite, +1 for a buddy. That's why he's at 0 and I'm at 0. He rolls a 6, halved to a 3. I rolled a 3, halved to a 1.5 becomes a 2. A 3 to a 2 is no effect. So that didn't work. And then he's going to do stuff up here. He's 1, +1 is 2. And then halved, so it's +2 to +2, and we're halved. He rolled a 5 +2 is a 7, which is 3.5 is 4. I rolled a 4. 2 plus 2 is a 4, becomes a 2, so I am flipped because I cannot retreat. Then he goes for the kill here in a second. He goes with the shock army. He's only +1 because he doesn't get the bonus for being a shock. It's just elite, so he's +1 to my 0. He rolled a 2 plus 1 is a 3. The minimum I can get to 2, so he can't hurt me. And then he goes whole hog to try and push me out of Warsaw, just because he can. So he's 1, 2, 1 is the armored unit is the primary, so 1, 2, 3. -1 for the city, so again he's +2 to my +2. He rolls a 2 plus 2 is a 4, half to a 2. I rolled a 6 plus 2, half to a 8 to a half to a 4. Then he does another attack here. Again, it's +2 to +2. He rolls a 4 plus 2. I roll a 4 plus 2. Both have it down to 3. He brings up this guards unit here and attacks the 9th, where he is +2 -1. It should be 1 to my 2. He rolls a 3 plus 2. Or he rolled a 1 plus 2. He should have been a 1 plus 1. It should have been a 2 to my 5. 2 halved down to a 1. I rolled a 5, it didn't matter. So either way, it held. And then this guy, I think he just moves up there, so it's closer. And I think he did the same thing with the infantry, getting ready to run. He's like moving around here to get ready to run into Hungary when he declares war on it, as soon as he gets fair weather. And this guy, he moved out of the way. Then moved this guy up. I'm not sure why he moved out of the way. He's like worried about me flipping a shock army. The most I can do is flip him in severe weather. Can't kill it. So he keeps giving himself retreat routes, and he doesn't need to do that because I can't really push him away. So we're done with the operations. We go into axis replacements. This is something I had to think about. It was obvious I was going to spend 1 there. So it put me down to 9, and I was like, I could flip up 3 airplanes, or bring in an airplane, or whatever. And what I decided to do was I went and flipped over Vienna and brought the guy in central Germany down so I have a chance to maybe shoot up some of his bombers next turn, because I have a little better odds. And then I stopped there because I wanted to build a couple garrisons and stuff. So I think now I have, on the board I have 2 dead infantry and a garrisons. Garrisons out my butt. So garrisons to build to the left of me, garrisons to build to the right of me. And now we're doing the boring stuff. The West is just, he's got 24 points with the Brits, so he's like, do my fighters, do my bomber, blah, 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 blah. The Americans just flip all over. Does his airplanes down there and his convoys. And then just kind of cleans up. And then the Russians don't even have to think about it. They just do what they got to do. So and he said, hey, I have the points. I'm going to fix my Black Sea fleet so it doesn't have any sorties. And upgrades. Did the Soviets have any? No, they didn't. So they didn't have any mobilization for the Axis. This is me building some German units. We'll go back to central Germany. Built a garrison instead. Built infantry in Vienna, where the airplane is. And then I built another garrison over in Metz for the West. And the West didn't have anything to build. The Soviets had that armored unit to build. So he put it in Sarnati. And this is a point where the server died on us. I still could talk to him because we were on our Discord server. But the vassal server dived at this point. Fortunately, we were down to, he'd already made his last important decision where he wanted to put the armored unit and told me. And then it was like, okay, we're to end of turn phase. So I went ahead and did the end of turn phase for us. Because there's no die rolls or anything. I got a ground support, submarine. He got a bunch of stuff. got his British tank, his partisan, heavy artillery, 2 ultras, free forces, and then he got a lend-lease for the British, so I had to go back to the turn track to be able to count. 6 turns ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we were in November, and he was like, well, just send me the die rolls for the weather. And I'm like, no, I want to do that on screen, so we're going to start with the weather phase next turn. And then that's where I ended the log file. And we tried for about a half an hour to reconnect, and the Vasta server was just gone. It was done. So that was it. That was our session for the night. Normally, in poor weather like this, we would do 2, maybe even 3 turns in a night. But Vasta server wasn't cooperating, so we had to cut it short. So next session, you'll see some more winter turns. Anyway, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button so that the algorithms in YouTube keep this up for everybody else to find. We'll be back with the next session in a while. It takes us about a week to get some sessions in, so until then, stay safe and bye-bye.